All right, so I want to talk about a couple things here. As you can see, I've got a chart up here that basically is a. This chart basically is going to be a peak players since launch. We've got some of the top extraction games on here. Yeah, I've got Tarkov, Hunt Showdown, Gray Zone Warfare, Arena Breakout, Arc Raiders, and Marathon. So I'm going to go through and do a couple of things here real quick. First, Embark Studios. I am not here to crap on them. Not here to crap on Arc Raiders. I am a Raider streamer. I am a marathon streamer. I played both games. I have also played Delta Force. I have played Arena Breakout Infinite. I'm not great at it. I've played a couple of these other games. I suck at them. Arc Raiders and Marathon, I am decent at. My main contention is that the people who are using the numbers from Steam to bash one game or the other. So I am going and talking to the audience, those people, not the studios. Bungie did have a kind of, please don't review our game just yet. I kind of understood it. I did kind of understand it because after the server slam, they were taking the feedback and going, okay, well, we need to make some changes. We understand we need to make those changes. They took those and said, give us a week to try and give us a little bit of time to try and get those updates out there. Give us that first week to get those updates out there. They've made some of those updates. Those improvements have gone out. They have made a difference. Gameplay has improved. So, what I want to talk about though, what this is about, is yes, there have been a decrease in player counts since launch. Yes, there is no elephant in the room. There is no big thing about this. This site, what you're looking at on this page right here, I created this data pool, this data site. These were pulled Sunday afternoon, 3 o'clock in the afternoon from Steam. Technically, the Steam Spy API. These files and how to build this will be on my, will actually be on my GitHub, and you'll need a couple of API keys. Still working on getting the AI portion of it to work properly. There's a API authorization issue that I'm having trouble with at the moment, and to pull the actual up-to-date Steam numbers so you can actually get up-to-date numbers for Marathon and for all the other games as well, although all the other games actually have a much longer track record in the game. So let's just go ahead. We're going to get into some of these numbers real fast. So numbers that we've got here, what I want to go over here real fast. What I want to go peak players since launch and who's had the most drastic decrease in player count since launch. Everybody wants to say that Marathon's had the biggest decrease in players since launch any game of any extraction shooter in recent memory. Data doesn't show it. Sorry, it doesn't. Doesn't. You can sit there and argue with me to your blue in the face, but the data does not support that in any way, shape, or form. And I'll show you. So here's Marathon's loss. Right? Marathon has lost, it's lost roughly 35,000 players since launch. Just in 10 days. Yes, I get it. This is 10 days since launch. Okay. So Escape from Tarkov. It peaked out at 180,000 players. It's still going strong, but it has 2,200 days launch. I mean, it's got years worth of data on it. It's gone up and down, up and down. I mean, it's done relatively well, but it's sitting at about 70,000 players right now. So it's doing good. It's about it's kind of in between. I mean, it's an extraction shooter. It's in that market share of an extraction shooter right now. So let's do Hunt Showdown. I'm gonna take Escape from Tarkov out of there so we can actually kind of see a fair line. So if everybody wants to go about what's a good one to do, you want to say Hunt Showdown is better than Marathon? Hunt Showdown debuted better than Marathon. Granted, it hasn't had the drop off in that first 10-day launch, and it has actually sustained its player base. I'm not going to deny that. Sustained its player base for the most part. I mean, it launched with, now it's not giving me the proper numbers here. It launched with, go ahead and take Marathon out of there so I get a good, decent number. 18,000. There's a little flakiness and some like in a little bit of the coding on React. I'm not the best React coder. So go with that. I'm still working on a little bit of it here. I'm new to React, decent, really fairly decent with Python. Still a little bit here and there. Okay, so let's take Hunt Showdown out of that. Go with Gray Zone Warfare. You know, hey, 30 days since launch, it dropped. Oh man, it's dropped over almost half its player base. And so let's throw Marathon in there. It didn't even debut nearly as high as Marathon. Not sitting as high. It's not even close to what Marathon is running right now. But it's still up and operating, and it's supposedly Gray Zone is a success. But yet Marathon's dead in the water. Yes, Gray Zone is an indie game. I get it. Marathon is a AAA platform game from Bungie. Not supposed to be not supposed to be at this low count. Stop. Just stop. It's an extraction shooter. They knew what they were talking about. They knew what they were in for. They knew that the player count was not going to be that of Destiny. Knew that it was not going to be that of Halo. They knew that this player count was going to be smaller than what they were facing. But they knew that those fans are actually much more loyal if they give them proper stories, they give them proper gear, proper gunfights, and do the proper things. UI was messed up on launch. They have been fixing it. It is getting better and better each time I've seen an update. All right, let's go to Arena Breakout Infinite. Add that in there. Man, that's okay. Really? We're gonna go there? I mean, seriously, the 10-day mark, it was already below what Marathon running. I mean, almost below what Marathon's running. It was already. I mean, it debuted less than what it did. It was almost 10 days. It was the same point, but it's still running. But it's only at 16,000 after a year of launch. Come on, as you're wanting to you're pushing for Marathon to die, pushing for Bungie to die because you want the PvE game, you want Destiny, not Destiny. Destiny 3 is gonna come. You just have to wait. Wait your turn. Bungie wanted to give another player base its chance. We got what we wanted. Now you're gonna get what you want. You just have to wait. Just wait. All right. Now you all want to compare our creators and Bungie. Embark and Bungie. Again, I play both of these games. I stream both of these games. I'll stream both of them on the same night. I am not a big streamer by any means, but the fact that two other large streamers that I know both playing a tournament for Marathon and not playing in Arc Raiders, on this weekend. They were playing Marathon. That should tell you, yes, that Marathon is actually doing fairly well. And Sunday, Marathon was actually beating Arc Raiders in player count on Steam. Granted, these numbers are only Steam. I'll back that up. These are only Steam numbers. They're not console. They're not anything else. I play on console. I have a PlayStation and an Xbox. I play on console only. So I don't play on PC. So I'm not counting in any of these numbers. My player count is not in these numbers at all. You want to go who had the steepest drop off after launch? Okay. Who's lost over half their player base since launch? I'm only going by the number. These numbers are pulled directly from Steam, from the Steam Spy API, who has these numbers stored off of Steam. These are Steam's numbers. Move Marathon out of there so I get clean numbers. Launched to 481,000. Sunday's numbers at 3 o'clock, 45,000. Sunday's numbers for Marathon, 51,000. That was at 3 o'clock on Sunday, March 15th. Marathon was beating Arc Raiders. Now, we can go along and have a conversation that Embark is not Bungie, doesn't have the budget of Bungie. Arc Raiders was not supposed to be the game that succeeded. It was not supposed to do this, not supposed to do that. Don't care. You guys want to compare the numbers? I'm giving you the numbers. Reforged Gaming wants to keep saying that Marathon should have paid attention to their numbers and just made this a Destiny-like clone. No. They knew what they wanted to make. They wanted this to be an extraction shooter. Now, they made some mistakes along the way. They made a lot of mistakes along the way. Extraction shooters are right up my alley. I love extraction shooters. I'm out of my friend group that I play online with all the time. I'm the only one playing Marathon because it's a paid game. Everybody else, all of my other friends have bought Arc Raiders. They don't want to buy into another game that you have to buy into. That's why they haven't bought Marathon. I actually love the way Marathon plays. I prefer the way Marathon plays over Arc Raiders because the gunplay is great. I mean, it's Bungie. Bungie gunplay. TTK is a little bit quick. The UI is still a little confusing. I don't have the hours in it that Sprout or Astacross or some of those other guys that have put hundreds of hours into it already, or hundreds, maybe tens of hours of dozens and dozens of hours. I don't have I don't have that time. I work full time. I do data. These are the things that I do. I whip this up in an afternoon because I keep seeing all of these freaking videos about Arc Raiders killing Marathon, or Marathon is dead because of this or because of that. And a lot of it is just speculation because they think the numbers are bad. Because a steep decline, because it launched and then they just dropped so drastically. Dude, percentage wise, the numbers just don't lie. They didn't have that drastic. Not compared to other games. Some of the other games had a gradual drop. Some of them actually had an increase. I mean, Escape from Tarkov is the outlier here. I mean, it had an increase. And again, Embark, I'm not Embark Studios. Trust me, I am not crapping on you. I'm not crapping on our creators. Again, I play it all the time. You can check my you can check all my VODs. I play Arc Raiders all the time. I have dozens. I have hundreds of hours in Arc Raiders already. However, it's the content creator audience that wants to fight and not allow room for both games to coexist. You don't like Marathon, you don't like Marathon. You don't have to crap on it. You don't like Arc Raiders, you don't have to like Arc Raiders. You don't have to crap on it. I play Arc Raiders, Marathon, Delta Force, Fortnite. I play all kinds of games. However, you notice the majority of what I play is an extraction shooter game. And currently, it's Marathon, Arc Raiders, and Delta Force. Mainly Arc and Marathon. And it's slowly moving more and more to Marathon and Arc. More Marathon than Arc. And I don't know how else to put. I'm enjoying Marathon. Now I play solo on Marathon, which makes it much more difficult, but I enjoy the challenge. So I think you guys need to take a look at the numbers and actually just stop. Stop. It really is just both games can exist. I think you need to stop lying to yourselves. Reforge Gaming, you need to just you need to take a step back, take a breath, and just go, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, I have this all wrong. Paul Tassi, when he put out his article that, hey, this is what's going on, most of the numbers are right on Steam, maybe we shouldn't be using it. Look, he was just reporting. Paul Tassi's just reporting the numbers. Everybody else took these numbers and ran with it and like, whoa, wait, oh, this is bad. No, Steam numbers are the Steam numbers. That's what people have to go by because they don't put the console numbers out. However, remember, Marathon is made by Bungie. Bungie is owned by PlayStation, which means it's a console first game. Whether they're going to tell you the console numbers or not, they're not going to. And they're not going to tell you that Steam is their number one or not. The dev may leak that to you or to Paul. That doesn't mean anything. I honestly think that people need to get off their high horse, especially with this. Stop. Just really. Okay, I'm gonna stop beating that dead horse because I don't want to be accused of being biased one way or the other. I'm giving you the numbers, and like I said, I'll put the link to the GitHub repository for this down below once it's published. It'll be in the description, and then I'll put the pinned comment that hey, it's published and it's ready to go. I'll probably be another day or so before everything is polished. You'll have to get an API key to make Claude work in here. You'll also need an API key to make Steam Spy numbers work. It'll all be in the README if you want to go through and pull the numbers yourself. If not, the numbers will be static in the file, so you can see the numbers that I was using, and they're today's numbers from what I pulled this afternoon. So they're hard coded in there, and then you go find whatever numbers you need to, and then pull the numbers you want. They're not hard to pull. You can go ask Claude to pull the same freaking numbers yourself. All right, I'm done with this. I will talk at you later. I think I've got some more fun stuff coming up, but this here was just kind of biting at me. I was irritated with it. Like I said, this is kind of what I do for a living. This and I do development support, but I kind of do data stuff, so this is up my alley. When you're misusing the numbers, kind of gets to me. Stop it. Take it easy.